Hello my fashion lovers, welcome to today's tutorial. On today's tutorial, we'll be making this long gown with half cut, and it's going to have a waistband. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. This is So with Chioma, and the gown I'm making is for a 12 years old girl. The gown is for a 12 years old girl. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Like, share my video, and drop your comments. Before we'll start with the upper part. The half length is 13 inches, and you're going to deduct 2 inches for your band. Then add your 1.5 inch sewing allowance. And for the armhole, I'm taking 7 inches for the armhole. Then for the bust point, I'm taking 8 inches, and for the underbust, I'm taking 10 inches for the underbust, and the length is 13 inches. The length is 13 inches. You go ahead and mark the lines. And for the neckline, I'll be taking 3 inches by 3 inches. For the neckline, I'll be taking 3 inches for the length and 3 inches for the width. You go ahead and connect the lines. And for the shoulder slope, I'll be taking 1/2 inch shoulder slope. Or you can take 1 inch. Go ahead and connect the shoulder slope. And for the dart I'm working with is 6 inches. 6 inches plus 1/2 inch, so I'll be marking 3.5. I told you it's for a 12 years old girl. You go ahead and mark it down. 6 inches divided by 2 give you 3. Then you add 1/2 inch sewing allowance, making it 3.5. You go ahead and take it out. That is the chest line, the bust point, the underbust, and the waistline. And now to take out the darts. On both sides, I'll be taking 1/2 inch. On the underbust, 1/2 inch. On the waistline, 1/2 inch on both sides. That is the dart intake. And it's going to have a yoke. It's going to have a yoke. And now I'm taking the bust measurement divided by 4. And I'll impute it. And you get the middle of your armhole. Get the middle of your armhole and connect. And now for the yoke, the length of the yoke, where the yoke is going to stop, I'll be taking 5.5 inches for the yoke. And you roll it out. It's going to be a straight yoke. The neck is going to be a straight line. And you're going to take the darts. From the bust point, you connect your curved lines. From the bust point, you connect it to the dart intake you took at the underbust. See what I'm doing? Just use your curve ruler. And the line, I'm going to extend it to the yoke line. And I'm going to find the middle of the shoulder, and I'll connect it to the yoke line. And on both sides, I'll be taking 1/2 inch on both sides. Use your curve ruler to connect. And now we're going to take the full body measurements. The bust measurement divided by 2. divided by 4. Bust measurement divided by 4 plus the dart intake, you're going to add it. Then add your sewing allowance. You go ahead and connect. Connect the armhole. And you go ahead and cut. You go ahead and cut out the yoke, cut out the dart. And with this, I will use this to cut the main fabric. I'm cutting on the lining and I'll use it to cut the main fabric. And this is what we have for the front upper part. And now we are going to cut the back. The back, we are taking the 1 inch, the 1 inch zip allowance. 1 inch zip allowance, you go ahead and mark it out. And for the length of the armhole, for the shoulder divided by 2, her shoulder is 15 divided by 2 will give you 7 inches, 7.5 inches. You mark out the shoulder, I will take the armhole. Armhole is 6.5 inches, 6.5 inches, and the bust point is 8 inches. The bust point is 8 inches. You go ahead and rule out the lines. And that is the waist. For the neckline, it's going to be 3 inches by 3 inches. 3 inches by 3 inches. Go ahead and connect. Then you take the shoulder slope and connect. And now we're going to take the dart. The dart we're taking is 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches. On the waistline, you take ½ inch on both sides for the dart. Then you go ahead and connect. You can make this lovely dress, Christmas dress, for your daughter, for your teen daughters, or your teen customers. Then after your dart intake, you go ahead and take the full body measurement. Full body measurement. Your bust divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. You mark it. I marked it on the armhole, you take it down to the bust point. For the waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance plus the 1 inch dart intake you took. You go ahead and connect it and connect your armhole. The back is going to be one piece. There's no yoke at the back. You go ahead and cut. Notch your zipper allowance and cut the zip allowance open. And now we are done with the back. And now for the upper part of the gown, for the upper part of the gown is going to be two pieces. That is for the down part. The down part is going to be 26 inches. And now I'm marking the upper part before I will attach the flare. You mark the waistline and the hip line. On the hip line, your hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Then whatever you have on the hip, you take it down to the knee. Take it down to the knee. From the waistline to her knee line to where this skirt will stop before I attach the flare is 15 inches. So what I have is 15 inches. The front and back are going to be the same. The difference is just 1 inch. 1 inch for the zipper allowance for the back. And like I told you, this is 13 inches for the skirt part before we cut out the down part of the flare. And the total length of this gown is 53 inches. 53 inches for the long gown. And now we are going to join the upper part. You go ahead and cut it on your main fabric. Cut it on your main fabric and go ahead and join. You put your interface. Join with the half-inch sewing allowance. And for the yoke, you go ahead and cut out your yoke. And I'll be using this net to line it. You go ahead and sew it down at the down part. After sewing the yoke, you go ahead and attach it to the main bodice. Get the middle of the main bodice and get the middle of your yoke and go ahead and attach it. Place it right side facing right side and attach. Now you're going to measure the length. The length, I told you that the total length is going to be 14 inches for the half length. And what I have here is 12 inches. So I'll cut out 2 inches for the band. 2 inches for the band. I'll make it 3 inches so that I'll use half inch to attach to the upper part and half inch to attach to the lower part. And this is what you're going to do. You take it, attach it to the, you have two pieces, one at the upper part and one at the under for the band. You go ahead and use your half inch and attach. And this is what you have. Go ahead and iron it down. And the length of the upper part 14 inches is complete. And now we are going to attach the down part, the skirt, the down part. You go ahead and mash it. And for the upper part is complete. You go ahead and attach your lining. Go ahead and attach, use your lining and cover up. Cut out the excesses. And from the shoulder to where the gown will stop before the flare is 27 inches. From the shoulder to where the gown is going to stop is 27 inches. And now you go ahead and sew the back. The same thing, the same way you sew the front, that is the same way you're going to sew the back. You attach the upper part and the down part, which is going to give you 27 inches. The upper part and the down part. If you're making use of your lining, make sure you sew down with your lining before you attach to the fabric, depending on how you want to sew your lining. And this is the back. Go ahead and take out your darts. Go ahead and take out your darts. Now we are going to join the front and the back together. Front and back. And the shoulder line. Go ahead and stitch it. Take it round and stitch it down. Join the shoulder together. After joining, you fix your zip and join the two sides using your sewing allowance. Join the two sides. Mark your sewing allowance. And after attaching the both sides, the front and the back, this is what you're going to have. And for the down part, you're going to measure what you have at the down part. For the round part where I will be attaching the flare, what I have there is 30 inches. 30 inches. When you measure it round, the front is 15 inches, the back 15 inches. When you add it together, it's going to give you 30 inches. And you're going to fold the flare. You fold it into two. Fold your fabric into two. Fold your fabric into two. And you're going to fold it again, make it into four. You fold it into two and you fold it into four. Fold it into two, then into four. I'm using 2 years for the down part. And for the round knee where I'll be attaching it, I'll be taking 12 inches. I'll be taking 12 inches for the upper part. And for the down part, I'll be taking 28 inches plus the sewing allowance. For the upper part, I'll be taking 14 inches. Go ahead and mark. The excess, I'm going to pleat it on the knee line. And now you go ahead and take the full length. After marking, you go ahead and connect. You go ahead and cut. The way you open it, this is what you have. The opening, I'm going to stitch it down. The opening on the flare, I'm going to join it and stitch it down. Then go ahead and attach it to the knee. And now, after sewing it down, after joining it, because the front and the back is going to be together, then you go ahead and attach it to the down part. Right side facing right side. Right side facing right side, you go ahead and attach it round the knee. If you have any question at this point, please ask in the comment section. And please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and attach it around the knee. Go ahead and attach it around the knee. And after attaching, if this is what you're going to have, and you have your Christmas gown for your daughter, for your customer. This is the end of our tutorial. Drop your comments in the comment section, and if you like, for the down part, you can go ahead and put your horsehair bridge.